Welcome everyone to AURI Connect's Webinar Wednesday, part of AURI Connect's monthly online series featuring updates on the work that AURI is doing to foster long-term economic benefit for Minnesota through value-added agricultural products. I'm Dan Scogan, the AURI Director of Government and Industry Relations and your host on Webinar Wednesdays. The AURI Connects program is hosted by the Agricultural Utilization Research Institute of Minnesota. This program aims to actively engage all participants in the food and ag industry to improve competitiveness of producers, businesses, and entrepreneurs through ongoing purposeful connection of resources and partners along the value chain, and increase knowledge of opportunities, technologies, and trends. Remember that this event is being recorded and archived and can be found at auri.org. Also remember that you will be muted during our presentations, but you can send us your questions through a Q&A portal that's on your screen. Now today we will introduce to you the AURI Ag Innovator of the Year Award winner. We'll hear from AUR leadership about the Ag Innovator of the Year, and we'll also hear from the company that won this year's award and from AURI staff that work closely with the client. To get us started, I'm going to ask AURI Executive Director Shannon Schleck to give us the historical background on the Ag Innovator of the Year and introduce this year's winner and today's special guest. So Shannon, welcome to Webinar Wednesday.
Fantastic, thank you, Dan. And it's great to be here today to recognize innovation that's going on across the state of Minnesota. Each year, AURI recognizes an innovative company in the food and ag space that excels in commercializing a new product or a new process. It's something that we started in the early 2000s, and it's something that we do annually. To give a shout out to those that are really excelling, creating new opportunities, being really innovative and creative around the food and ag space and how it helps the economy of Minnesota as well as the food and agricultural industry. At AURI, we see so many great innovations every day through our four focus areas of food, co-products, bio-based products, and renewable energy. And it's great to take time and recognize an innovation in one of these areas and to highlight it and to celebrate it about the innovation, the success, the hard work, that's gone into making these ideas a reality. This is an opportunity to honor an exemplary client, one who's taken a really innovative approach, had an innovative idea, and is really contributing to utilizing the agricultural products and the crops that are produced in Minnesota and across the region. You know, I think of us being fairly modest here in Minnesota and in the Midwest, and we often don't take time to celebrate some of the successes that we have in the food and ag space. And this is a great opportunity and to highlight somebody in our own backyard that's doing some really creative work, to utilize agricultural products and really to move something forward through their hard work and their dedication and their enthusiasm around innovation and the food and agricultural space. Now, just for background and a little bit of context around our past Ag Innovators of the Year, we've had companies such as Global Milk Specialties, which has done work on feed ingredients for the dairy industry, and they do work as well around dairy products. We've had Smoothie Enterprises, who has done work around sunflower oils, sunflower meals, as well as microwave popcorn. Chippewa Valley Ethanol Company, which has taken an innovative approach to their work around energy and ethanol and co-products that are coming out of that process. We've also had groups like Protein Resources that are working on increasing the protein content in different feed products for aquaculture opportunities, as well as for starter diets for swine and other animals. Centava is a past Ag Innovator of the Year as well with their purple corn. Used as an ingredient in a natural food colorant. A group like Northern Excellence up in the northwest part of the state working on the grass seed industry and how do they utilize some of the co-products of biomass back into their operations and circular approaches. And then groups like Minnesota Soybean Processors, who was one of the first biodiesel facilities in the state and looking at glycerin refining as well in terms of creating new product opportunities. And then finally, Pet Care Systems, which developed a natural cat litter using wheat that's produced right here within the state. So lots of great innovations that we've seen over the years. Those are just a handful. They're all listed on our website as well at auri.org. So let me just spend a little bit of time around the process in terms of how we get to where we are today. This all starts with the time of year that we begin in the fall and have discussions internally around the hundreds of clients that we've looked at over the year and worked with over the last several years in terms of who's had a really innovative approach and is really continuing their journey with some market opportunity with the innovation that they've created. We discuss it at the staff level, have a really good discussion around these different companies, the different innovations, the different opportunities. And really, it's a great discussion and often a challenging one because there's so many great things that we see, and how do we select one or help recommend to the board of directors what some of these innovations are and who should we recognize in a given year. Then as we have that discussion, we bring the finalists to the board of directors and they have a discussion around this and then select an Ag Innovator of the Year. So with that, it's my pleasure, as Dan mentioned earlier, to announce NewStarch Solutions as our 2021 Agricultural Innovator of the Year for AURI. They are being featured today on our webinar, and we also featured them at our New Uses Forum several weeks ago in terms of the great innovation that they're bringing forward and their approach to advancing the use of agricultural products and their product that they've worked hard to bring to the marketplace. So NewStarch Solutions was founded in 2016, and we've had a working relationship with them for the last several years in terms of looking at how we could be helpful in terms of utilizing the agricultural feedstocks that we have here in the state to help them with their market opportunities and getting their product to the marketplace. Riley Gordon, who you'll hear from later, as well as Harold Stanislawski, have worked most diligently with them from our side in terms of just answering questions and being there in terms of the objectives that they wanted to take forward and how we could be helpful. And I want to say that I think NewStarch Solutions is completely on trend. They have a product that is focused on packaging, and I think we've all seen the growth in packaging over the last several years, and e-commerce, and just how many more shipments we're getting to our homes every day, as well as just the work around sustainability that they have as well. As we look at consumer preferences and how those are changing, we are increasingly seeing a desire for more sustainable approaches, and that's on a holistic basis, right from the product to the supply chain to the energy that's put into it across the board. And I think NewStarch Solutions is really on trend, again, with what we're seeing in the marketplace. They've created their own process as well as their own product that they share with partners around the world to really advance this opportunity. You know, and they didn't stop at their first product. We'll hear a little bit more today around a second product that they're developing as well to look at laminates and not just packaging peanuts or different packaging materials to help cushion and sustain a product during its journey through the supply chain. So I'm excited to hear more about this product as well during the discussion today. And then I just want to state a comment as well that they're just great. They've been great people to work with, and I think you'll enjoy hearing from Dean today and hearing more about the other founders in terms of the hard work and the idea and just what they did to bring a new product to market. And it's a great success story of how you can take an idea, your past experiences, and really move something forward that has a lot of opportunity. So with that, I want to say thank you to NewStarch Solutions for your work and for your efforts and innovation and how you're utilizing Minnesota agricultural products to bring long-term value to the state, to our economy, to our agricultural producers, and to the agricultural industry. And it's my pleasure to introduce Dean Bartels from NewStarch Solutions to share more about their journey of taking an idea into reality and beyond to become the Agricultural Innovator of the Year for AURI. So Dean, pleasure to have you on Webinar Wednesday and look forward to your message today.
Thank you, Shannon. Thank you, AURI, together. It's an honor for me and my business partners, Matt Niles and Don Niles. Very, very appreciative of this, and it's really nice to be recognized for all the time and energy that we've put into this. As Shannon mentioned, we are a company that utilizes starch. So what we do is we manufacture starch resins, and the process that's involved in it is we get purchase raw materials, starch and other ingredients. We run them through, mix them together for a formulation that we've created, and then we run it through an extrusion process. We take that powder, run it through the extrusion process, and then that makes a resin. From that resin, we sell in bulk 40,000 pounds or a semi-trailer load at a time, and we ship it all around the world to our customers. Then those customers will take it and take a secondary process of extrusion and make them into little packing peanuts. This has been our primary product that we've used or had for several years. And the efficiencies of it, it's both economical as well as sustainable. So we're really proud that we can not only be a sustainable product, but be cost competitive as well. And we're replacing a plastic-based product in styrofoam or polystyrene. What we're most excited about and what we've been recognized for is our new product with sheet. It's a starch sheet. It's a very similar process where, like I mentioned, how we create powder, run it through that extrusion process to make resin, and then we ship the resin to our customers where they will process this sheet. So the starch sheet will be primarily used in the beginning to line boxes. Right now, it's a styrofoam boxes are doing this, or styrofoam is doing this in these boxes. And as we know that that's harmful for the environment, our product is going to be sustainable, and it's also going to have great thermal properties. So you'll see this product in pharmaceuticals, you'll see it in some food packaging, those type of markets that we're going to get in. Again, it's an economy scale from a standpoint that we're shipping very dense resin in truckloads to the customer. The customer then can process that material on site, custom make it to whatever size they want to fit into any box that they want. It gives them a lot of control with their customers, and they'll distribute that regionally or make it for the customer right there on their site. Those are what we've been working on the last several years, and we also will provide the equipment, sell that equipment to the customer. We'll help with setup and training of it, so customer feel happy, and that it's a really a turnkey setup for the customer. And with that, back to you, Dan.
All right, Dean, thank you very much for telling us a little bit about your story and your journey through the process. I think to kick off our Q&A or question and answer session, we're going to ask Riley Gordon to join us. Riley worked closely, as Shannon mentioned, along with Harold Stanislawski, with the company NewStarch Solutions. And so we're going to let Riley start the discussion. Riley is an engineer for AURI, and he was instrumental in helping bring this product to a reality while working with NewStarch Solutions with Dean and Matt and Don. So Riley, I'm going to let you get it started, and let's if people who are participating in the webinar today have questions, you can ask those in written form in our Q&A portal. So Riley, I'll turn it over to you.
Great, thanks, Dan. Yeah, first off, Dean, just my congratulations to you and NewStarch Solutions for being awarded the Ag Innovator of the Year. You know, very deserving. Agree with all the nice comments Shannon had to make there. Just wanted to say it's been a pleasure of mine and AURI's assisting NewStarch Solutions over the last several years as you grow your business and expand your product line into markets. I look forward to continuing to work with you guys and helping you continue to grow your innovative company. So now, yeah, as Dan said, I have a few questions to hit you with in order just to give the audience today a little further background on the NewStarch Solutions innovation journey. And then I'm going to pass it back to Dan to lead the audience Q&A portion of the program. So I guess first question here, Dean, how did you identify that there is a need for the products which NewStarch Solutions offers today?
Thank you, Riley, for the kind words. We enjoy working with you and your team a lot. You've been very helpful in areas where we did not have the expertise that we needed. So thank you again. How we identified it is I don't want to say it was by accident, but we're starch. What we know is starch. We know how to work with it. We know some of the idiosyncrasies of it, and we've known that for a long time. And we also know how to market and sell it. So we always thought that there could be more to do with starch. We thought, well, it can be for several different things. So we really kind of started racking our brain. Well, what's out there now that's more of a plastic base that we could replace plastic with? Being that we're always along with the packaging side of it, we looked at other forms of packaging, and we came up with that putting in the foam insert, the sheets into the boxes to replace that styrofoam. That market is astronomical on different applications we could do it with, but we just wanted to focus maybe on the packaging and cold chain storage side of it. So we set out to do that again with the need that we're hoping that with the business model of shipping the resin to a customer and processing it on site, that they are going to be able to replace those plastic-based products at a price that's competitive. So we set out to do that. It was a long process. It's a lot of times we weren't ready for some of the things that were thrown our way or some of the challenges, but the numbers, like I said, are astronomical on the amount of cold chain and boxes and so forth that are sent out with the plastic type of material. So again, we just wanted to replace some of that with a product that's sustainable and price competitive.
Perfect. Thanks for that. That makes perfect sense from where I'm sitting. And I think I was looking the other day, and I think the packaging market in general and the global packaging market's going to be, into the hundreds of billions. So it's quite a market to get into. Next up, I have, what have been your biggest barriers or challenges that you guys have had to overcome to develop the products at NewStarch Solutions? If you had to name, one or two of your biggest barriers or challenges.
Well, good point that out, because there's been several barriers that getting this product to market, but probably the biggest one has been equipment. When we first started going down this road and believed it was possible to do, we did some experimenting in our facility in Plymouth, Minnesota, and got to the point where we could extrude the starch into a sheet. And we were very happy. We thought that was a huge obstacle that we overcame, and it was. Then we thought we would be able to talk to other machine manufacturers and get them excited to help us develop what would be called the downstream equipment, or equipment that after the starch sheet is extruded from the resin, it needs to be cut and then laminated to make other layers. And we didn't have any experience doing that, but we saw different companies out there making similar pieces of equipment, and we thought, well, we'll go to them, show them our idea, and they will be happy, and we'd have 10, 12 different companies that would just be knocking down our door trying to develop a piece of equipment. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. So what we've had to do is we've had to come up and work with maybe a non-traditional downstream manufacturer, and then really learn about that piece of equipment, what that needs to look like, and co-develop that with them. On the positive side, what this enabled us to do then is able to take this piece of equipment along with the extruder, bundle it as a whole system, and then be able to sell that to the customer, have a patent pending. We have it on this piece of equipment as well. And really do a turnkey thing so the customer can buy the resin from us, they can buy the piece of equipment from us, and then we will train them all at the same time.
Thank you for that, Dean. I think that's one of my favorite pieces of your business model that you just touched on, that you're not only selling the resin to make the peanuts, but also the equipment is all within your business as intellectual property. The extrusion process there and the equipment actually comes as NewStarch as well. So that's very interesting. So next up I have here, what is missing in our ecosystem that in hindsight would have been helpful, or even today would be helpful for your business to advance this innovation and your innovations at NewStarch Solutions.
Say it again, Riley. What was the question?
So the question would be, what might be missing in our ecosystem today that would be helpful for you guys as a business to help advance your company and your innovations at your company?
Things that would help us out, just like what we're doing today, more impact or more notoriety on some of these things that are coming out there and that are available. Right now, it's a lot of times it's hard to get our information out there, and so people know of us or know the situation, and that's a big deal. And AURI is helping us with that right now. But the big thing is notoriety. If we can get people to understand that there is technology out there like this, that it's available, and that people can look at, maybe they have other ideas on what people can utilize as a sustainable product to replace some of the plastics out there. Does that answer your question, Riley? Is that what you're?
Yep, I think that's good. So I appreciate that. And there's 22 people in the audience I see today. So getting the word out there a little bit better today with this webinar. So again, last question for you, Dean, and then we'll pass it back to Dan for the audience Q&A. But what would be your message for other entrepreneurs or folks thinking about starting a business of their own who are watching today's webinar?
Probably what my partners and I have done was we created a vision. We sat down and had a vision of what we wanted to be in. And our vision was we wanted to utilize what we were good at with the starch business, not only in creating products from starch, but then marketing and selling them and finding a market for them. So create that vision and then have a game plan to execute it, but be flexible in that game plan, because we had it mapped out pretty well of exactly what to do. And then, like I mentioned earlier, kind of threw us a curveball where we had to work on developing that piece of equipment, and we thought that would be done for us. So that be flexible in the game plan, but don't you lose sight of your vision. And then finally, partners you choose to work with, whether that's vendors or customers. It's very important that you have that type of relationship back and forth when you're developing something new, that people are understanding that it's going to take a little time, that things will be a hiccup here and there, and they won't get discouraged. Those are probably the main pieces of advice I would give.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you, Dean. roll with the punches. So I guess that's all I have for you. Again, congratulations on the award, and really look forward to continuing to work with you guys as you grow the business and your product line and market. So from there, I'll pass it back to Dan, and we'll get some questions from the audience.
Thanks, Riley. Thanks, Dean. And Riley, don't drop off entirely, because I might direct my first question to you in a little bit of a learning experience here for entrepreneurs and innovators who are watching the webinar today. What was your initial reaction? What did NewStarch Solutions bring you to get the process started with AURI? And was that typical of what an entrepreneur might do when they make contact with us?
Yeah, so I think back on it, and I think it was about 2018, and Harold Stanislawski and I went to visit NewStarch Solutions, and I think actually even Shannon was in either the first or the second meeting, and just got talking with them about, they started this business in 2016, so they're only a couple of years into it. The packing peanut business is going good, but they had this sheet idea, and they were really just looking for some assistance to, one, get funding to kind of help them further the development of that sheet, and two, looking just for some expertise on putting together some technical specifications for them to go out and talk with potential customers. So that's what I remember that first meeting being about. Wasn't an expertise area of mine per se, but just kind of figured out what different testings to do, our value testing. We did some testing here at our Waseca lab that kind of was comparative to other products that are on the market, whether they be petroleum based or other ones that are plant based, and looking at strength and tear resistance and biodegradability factor and stuff like that we kind of brought to the table. Dean and the crew said that would be really helpful to kind of tie that together, and that's kind of how we kicked that off through a grant that we identified for them, and they ended up getting. And then it just kind of went from there. Now we're helping them with BPI certification and SDS, and identifying that downstream and kind of helping troubleshoot that a little bit. So that was kind of our journey at AURI, and it's been a lot of fun working with these guys and helping them out with the business. It's really cool.
I think it's a little bit of a lesson for entrepreneurs who haven't worked with AURI in the past. Sounds like that first meeting or two was kind of a brainstorming or a spitballing, and you start to get that checklist put together of things that we need to check on. And Dean, I'm guessing that AURI kind of opened your eyes a little bit onto some things maybe that either you hadn't thought of or hadn't figured out how to solve yet.
Correct. And not only that, but I didn't realize how much AURI could help us with Riley in the testing that he had and some of the things that he did at your labs. That helped us out tremendous. Not only did he know what tests to do, but knew what a customer may be looking for and what kind of data to have. That was really nice and continues to work out very well.
So Dean, let me ask you about capacity. To me, it's intriguing that you send the resin to your customer and then they make the packaging that they need. And does that allow you to have unlimited capacity, basically? All you have to do is get the resin out to the customer?
Yes, we are starch resin manufacturers. So that's our goal. We're not making the end product, the sheet, or we're not really making the packing peanuts or whatever other products we come up with in the future. We want to make that resin and then use that business model of sending the resin to another customer, whether it's in Australia or Europe or Texas, and then they can make that product on site and then ship it regionally. That helps our cost model immensely.
A couple of questions have come in from those watching today. What types of starch are you working with? And where can we get more information on the equipment that you talked about? Is that public knowledge?
Well, I will say that we use plant starches. I'm not at liberty to discuss what specific types, but a lot of different types of plant starches is what we use. And you can always email me if you are interested in looking at some of the pieces of equipment. My email is dbartels@newstarchsolutions.com.
All right. And is your process carbon neutral?
I'm not familiar with the term carbon neutral. Maybe Riley is more than I am. We use electricity in our extruders. So there is some power there, but nothing is petroleum based as far as our process.
Okay. And Nan did put your email address in the chat box. So anybody that's watching today that would like to contact Dean, feel free to reach out to him regarding either the product itself or the machines that put it together. What's the next big thing, Dean? People are wondering. I mean, here's an innovator and an entrepreneur who thinks about these kinds of things outside the box. Without giving any trade secrets away, what are you guys thinking about next?
Really, we want to leave that up to our customers and people out there. We want to make the resin, and we can show you what can be made with sheet products. And really, it's the imagination of other people who say, well, if they could do this out of starch sheet, maybe we could do XYZ product. We can always modify our formula in our resin to have different characteristics. And that's really our next thing, is to see where this starch sheet and this technology leads us down.
So put all the innovators on notice to come to you with your next big idea. Is that it?
That's correct. Come to us with an idea, and we'll make the resin for you, and you go ahead and establish the market and sell the finished product.
Got a question here that asks that with the increase in online shopping, especially the last couple of years, is there a specific market that you're targeting for your packaging material right now as you go out and try to get more customers?
Yes, we are targeting the cold chain market with the explosion of e-commerce. There's people are ordering, as you know, meal kits. They're more than ever. There's specialty foods coming from all over the world delivered to your home. That's a market where we're targeting that our product can be in, because if you get it at your doorstep, rather than having to worry about a styrofoam container to get rid of, now you have something that's sustainable and compostable, that if it winds up in a landfill, it's gonna compost. So we're very proud of that, and that's where we see a large part of this market, along with the pharmaceuticals as well.
What is the biodegradability of the product? Riley or Dean, either one. I mean, is it highly biodegradable?
I would call it, you have to really be careful on what the term biodegradability is, because it's all over the map. But I would call the product compostable as a general term. Riley, if you want to weigh in on that as well.
Yeah, it's a lot of the material in there would be considered biodegradable, but there is some that, very small percentage that would probably, by some people, call it technically not a completely 100% biodegradable product, but highly biodegradable, especially when you're comparing it to something that's not biodegradable at all, like styrene. Kind of going through those testings and stuff right now, actually, with the BPI labs and stuff like that. So we'll kind of find out an actual quantifiable number soon, but just kind of high level, that would be my answer for now.
Riley, was that one of the things you were looking for when you were helping develop the product?
Yeah, we did biodegradability in the presence of moisture. So how fast and how complete does it break down when there's water? And that was kind of for like a meal kit market, or like if you're doing medical kits or something, it might get wet. So how much does that break down? and how fast and how long would it remain a viable product. So that was kind of more what driven that test, but more so to answer the environmental biodegradability question. That's kind of the testing that's going on right now at a certified lab.
Dean, you may have touched on it when you did your, talked about your company a little bit, but how many employees do you have?
We have 7 full-time employees.
That's pretty exciting. You cover a lot of ground with those 7.
Yes, a lot of our process is automated. So we have people in our facility, but by and large, the machines are automated, and these guys are trained and women are trained to run those machines, but there's not a lot of labor involved in it.
And I have one question left for you, Dean, and that is just the supply chain. The last couple of years, a lot of businesses have experienced supply chain disruptions. The product that you're dealing with, pretty easy getting product in and out and keeping your customers happy?
I would say that compared to most people, yes. So there still is starch available. There isn't any shortages that are impacting us. The costs that we have seen some costs increase, but that's largely due to transportation costs and getting the product to us.
I should ask this question of Don Niles, who isn't on the program today, but there's a question about, did you file any patents on either your starch product, resins, or on the equipment?
Yes, we have a patent on the starch sheet, the process that I went through. So that is an active patent. And then we have a few that are pending.
All right. Riley, anything that you want to add to the discussion? I see you're shaking your head, so.
That's all I had from my end.
All right, Dean. Again, congratulations on being named the Agricultural Innovator of the Year through AURI. Congratulations on the NewStarch Solutions, and best of luck to you and your company going forward.
Thank you very much.
And that's going to conclude today's Webinar Wednesday. We want to thank Shannon, Dean, and Riley for participating today. AURI Connects Webinar Wednesday is presented by the Agricultural Utilization Research Institute of Minnesota. AURI's mission is to foster long-term economic benefit for Minnesota through value-added agricultural products and processes. We're interested in your feedback, so please respond when we send you our event evaluations. And remember, you can always find more information on today's program or any of the work that AURI is involved with by going to auri.org. Supplemental nutrients are a critical component for food crop production in the United States and around the world. The rising cost of natural gas, combined with increased production costs to source essential materials that are often in short supply, make it imperative to focus on recycling essential nutrients from agricultural and miscellaneous waste streams for fertilizer use in crop production. Additionally, there is a need to address improved nutrient utilization in all production systems. So join us Wednesday, May 11th from noon till 1 Central Time for AURI Connects Webinar Wednesday, Nutrient Recycling for Crop Production, highlighting the importance of this local nutrient recycling and current examples of nutrient-rich byproduct streams. This webinar will also be featuring a technology that one Minnesota company has implemented to recover nutrients in a way that is easy to handle and to transport. And you can always learn more about other work that AURI is involved with by going online to auri.org. We look forward to having you join us again on May 11th from noon till 1 for another AURI Connects Webinar Wednesday.